What's up, everybody? Welcome to Moneyline Media. Hope you guys are having an absolutely wonderful, wacky, wild Wednesday. We are here for the NFL recap in a world, Twilight Zone style, in a world where Tom Brady defeats Drew Brees in the NFC divisional round. Shocking, I know. And in a world where Aaron Rodgers heads to the NFC Championship game, his first ever
At
home
home.
game for an NFC Championship game. By the way, if you guys are watching this on YouTube and you're seeing this very stupid smile that Deirdre has on right now, we just previously recorded this, and I had a choking incident with
Yeah.
a bottle of water.
Yeah.
So that's the situation over here. Now, before we get started with the show, Deirdre, if you just give me 1 minute, please. I'm not gonna name a name due to the family. They haven't posted anything about it yet. And before we do anything like that, I'm just gonna let them give their time. A supporter of the show, a friend of the show, unfortunately lost his battle today with COVID-19. He did have some pre-existing conditions along with that. He did lose his battle at around 8:15 a.m. today. So big condolences to his family. Good friend of mine, good friend at my job. So hopefully he's in a better place now. And with that being said, if there's anything that we can do tonight to live up to his life, it's to talk football because that's all the guy loves to do. So that's what we're gonna do. But I'm not gonna mention his name because his family has not posted anything on social media or anything like that. But his family knows if they're watching this, and he knows who we're talking about. Until further notice, we will make a post the next coming days as soon as they make their post and whatnot. But yeah, huge loss to Moneyline Media family, huge loss to the world in general. With that being said, Deirdre, we have a big show tonight.
We
We have an
do.
NFL recap. We have a big time interview tonight.
Big
We
time.
have
2 big time interviews.
we do. That's right. 2 interviews tonight. Oh, that's right. We have Brooklyn Tide's hot stove tonight.
So tonight, yep. Very popular segment.
Yes, it is. It's been fun.
It has been a lot of fun.
It's very fun.
Very fun. Very fun. But let's get into some of these games, shall we? I say we start off with the Rams and the Packers.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's get rid of our worst game first.
Rams have been beaten up, man. They were beaten up. You got to give them credit. They didn't give up the fight. You know,
They did not.
They did not.
I think this game went as we all thought it would.
Yeah.
Packers did what they came in to do. You had the number one scoring offense versus the number one defense in the NFL.
Right. Defense that was beaten up, though, for sure.
Absolutely. You had Jared Goff with no thumb.
No thumb.
And I don't,
they had a lot of offensive lineman issues too.
They did.
I saw the Green Bay. To Green Bay's credit, yeah, Green Bay had a couple of.
This was a Packers win from the get-go.
Mm-hmm.
They covered the spread for the first time ever. It was a walkover victory for the Packers. Congratulations to the Rams on their success this season. We'll see you next year. Packers are moving on, heading to the NFC Championship game hosted at Lambeau Field.
No better place to host a playoff game.
No.
Sorry, no better place. Yeah, I mean, listen, we knew it was kind of going to go this way. The Rams were beaten up. They really took a beating in that Seattle game. But the Packers, to their credit, did what they had to do. Rodgers, 296, 2 touchdowns. Aaron Jones, 14 carries and 19 yards, 1 touchdown. And Rodgers got everyone involved. Goff had a lot of trouble. Goff had trouble getting himself going. Obviously, he's injured and probably wouldn't have played that game if they had a backup quarterback that they trusted. But yeah, it's tough because I think the Rams really put in their heart and soul, and from a team that we said was overrated and overpaid last year, I think that this year they kind of won the hearts of America with the way that they played, and they weren't supposed to be anything, and they didn't have a first round draft pick. Money, no money. Was
Yep.
Sean McVay as good as people thought he was? Then they lost to the Jets this year,
Intentionally.
potentially. They lose to the Jets this year, but they didn't give up. I think Sean McVay is a great coach. I think that shows a lot about the Rams going forward in this. Are they going to stick with Jared Goff or are they not? I don't. I think Jared Goff. A lot of people say he's overrated to the point that now he's underrated. Is that crazy for me to say?
Um,
Yes.
no, no, I wouldn't say that. I'm never sold on Jared Goff.
No, neither am I. But I think that there were times this year that he showed. And I mean, listen, he competed without his thumb. Like, he was injured. He came back. And, give credit to the Packers defense too, who we gave him a lot of trouble about running. They
Yes.
seem to be stepping up at the right time.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, I think the Packers having a bye week and then playing a beaten up Rams team is going to hurt them more than help them.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, like you said about their defense, I don't know if this is a test to their weak competition, because you can't really exactly say that the Rams running is
No, I
going
mean
to.
Cam Akers is going to be a stud in the league. I
Right.
really do
Well,
think
like you
he
said,
he runs hard.
The Rams were having offensive line issues, which diminishes from the.
That's true too. And Jared Goff didn't have a thumb, but they have a decent secondary anyway.
Mhm.
Green Bay. It's going to be interesting to see them go against
Right.
a team, like the Buccaneers. I think it's a great game. I think that if you told us at the beginning of the year it was going to be Aaron Rodgers versus um, Tom Brady in the NFC Championship, I think we would have thought you were crazy. But this is something that I think all the fans kind of deserve.
Yeah.
It's an
Yeah.
old school. We're never going to probably see that matchup again. So it's exciting to look forward to, and to know one of those guys are for sure going to be in the Super Bowl. You're going to get a show. You disagree because it's Aaron Rodgers, but you're going to get a show.
No, we had a show, and that over 51.5 is a joke.
It's what you think it should be more.
It should be over. It should be college level over 72.
I don't know about that, to be honest. And then I think it's also like a nice contrast. I know I'm going forward and like a game that we're probably never going to see again to a game to two quarterbacks that we're going to see fighting for this spot going forward in their careers. So it's just a nice, interesting contrast. But I think that means it's time to move to the Ravens versus the Bills.
Yes, it is. And here we go again.
Defensive matchup.
Yeah, and I never thought we'd be saying that.
I'll say it. Sorry, go ahead.
The Ravens are frauds. Lamar Jackson is a fraud. He had people out here thinking that he's a quarterback.
I think that's a little tough to say.
I'll tell you this. Lamar Jackson is one of the best running backs in the NFL.
I gotta not a Lamar fan, but I gotta disagree with you. His protection hasn't been as good as it had been in the previous year, and especially as a young quarterback, when you start off with great protection.
Literally made it further this year than he did last year.
No, he didn't. He didn't, because he was number one. He was the number one seed last year, so he was still in the divisional round.
That's true. Good point.
He did win. They did win one.
One more game this year than they did last year.
That's true.
Playoff.
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying, but they made it the same.
Yeah, same round.
Same round, right?
And I think that's what they're going to be. I don't see them getting further than this.
Yeah, I don't know if he's their answer at quarterback, but I think to say a guy that's led you to the playoffs 3 times, it's hard to say, oh, he doesn't belong. 3 times and probably, and you're going to disagree, Mike, in the coming years. Well, even last year, one of the toughest divisions. he's led them to the playoffs, and
Yeah, but that's it.
that is it. But
I think that's going to be his cap. I think he's a great regular season player.
yeah,
But when teams step
he
up,
he was also sacked 3 times for 24 yards.
mhm,
But you're right. Teams are learning how to play him. He's gotta
yeah,
get a new way about him. I agree with you on that. But let's just be real here. Josh Allen didn't have a great game either.
sure.
And I
No, he
don't.
didn't.
And I
Which
said
I think that's actually good for him.
I think we've spoken about it. And not yet. He's still young in his career, and I think he will learn. This
Mm.
is his first. He has all these now weapons. But he does do stupid things towards the end of the game. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
yeah.
he's not necessarily who I would consider clutch.
Hmm.
And I think that going along, that's going to be something. He's obviously going to be the X factor. Um,
Granted, it's hard to be clutch when you're beating everybody by 50.
no, but I'm saying in close games, like the game last weekend, where he fumbled the ball. Not
Hmm.
last weekend, the weekend before, where he fumbled the ball and it was
Yes.
27-24. And
Hmm.
like he did something like that last year versus the Texans.
Yes.
So he does have this mental, and I love Josh Allen. Am I going to ever say I'm a fan of him? No, because he's Bills, and I'm Jets. It's just not going to work. But I think that I love him. I wish he was on my team. I wish we had the opportunity to draft him, but that's besides the point.
You did.
Uh, I wanted them to draft him. You could ask anyone. Um, Also, just a side note on this recap. I joined two like Facebook groups. One's like a Nets group and one's a Jets group. And you have to like answer questions to like get into the group
Hmm.
to make sure like you're not a bandwagoner. And I was in my head thinking like, why are the Jets even saying there's no way that we're bandwagon fans? Like this is the worst team
Yeah.
to be a
Who
bandwagon
the
for.
hell jumped on a bandwagon for the Jets?
And also, and I feel like people say this about football fans too, but I feel like football fans are much less of bandwagoners than like basketball fans have the biggest bandwagons.
Yes,
Like football fans are like, okay, you've been through it. You know what I mean?
I agree.
Like even Patriots fans, who I hate, who we could say they were there for the good times but not the bad times. I know people. My sister lives in Boston. Those fans are still every game wanting to win, scratching their eyes out when they see Nick Chubb, knowing that they could have drafted Nick Chubb over Sony Mitchell. Like they're real fans too. But that's just a side note. But back to Josh Allen. Yeah, it's probably okay that he didn't have a great game. I mean, Stephon Diggs still had an amazing game. Uh, accounted for, you know, half of his passing yards. Stephon Diggs is great. He's the best addition that we've seen. We didn't think he was going to be a good addition, but he is.
Right.
Um, the and the Ravens have a good secondary.
Hmm.
Chiefs don't have a bad secondary. They have Honey Badger is incredible. They got a nice rookie. They don't have a terrible secondary. So that's something to look forward to. But I think you're right about the Ravens. Is that this is their peak. And let's remember, Lamar Jackson's going to be up for some big money. Marquise Brown's going to be up for some money. Mark
Hmm.
Andrews. They were all drafted in the same 2 years of each other.
Yeah.
So those guys are going to be up for big money. I mean, Josh Allen's going to be up for big money soon with the Bills.
Hmm.
But I think that the Ravens might have hit their peak. I don't think the Bills have hit their peak yet because I think Josh Allen gets better and better every time I see him.
Yeah. um, my issue with the Ravens is I do think they've hit their peak.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, they getting rid of Ingram. It's not a sign that they're starting to rebuild, but it's a sign that they're
But
getting
hey,
this.
for other teams, I think that this is great news to know that you can get Mark Ingram. If you have like a young, Bills are a potential landing spot for Mark Ingram.
Yeah.
That's a potential because he's got all this. He brings instant team chemistry. Whatever team he plays with, he's great. He's fantastic. It's hard to think of a team. There's a couple teams that could use a really good running back, and hopefully he could be at a discounted rate. But I don't know if he will. But I
Yeah.
agree with you. Dropping him is a questionable move.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, definitely.
but they needed the money.
Yeah.
They got a lot of guys
Um,
that they got to pay.
the other thing is Baltimore's not really been a place that draws in major free agents. So
Yeah,
that's a potential issue because you have
but I
Jake.
but I think that could be changing. Um,
I don't
with
know
that,
who wants to go play with Lamar.
I think there are.
No big name receiver is going to want to go play with Lamar.
I guess in that sense, you're right. A tight end would though, but they already have a
Yeah.
tight end. But I get what you're saying. Yeah, and I mean and by the way, that division is only going to get better. Like
Yeah.
the Bengals are going to come up. Steelers are probably going to have a down year next year. But the Browns are just getting better.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they are, and that division is really starting to get
Heat up.
better. I think the Steelers kind of hit their cap this year too.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I agree with you on that.
I think
And they also,
this is the Browns division going forward for the next.
yeah, and also Steelers. I also just want to say this, and I know Dan might disagree with me. Their team, their NFC team that they faced this year, like their division that they faced, that they played, that whole division was the NFC East. And we saw this with the AFC East last year. The Jets went 8-8 last year. They played, 4 times they played a team that was not fantastic. And this year it was even worse for the NFC East. So those numbers that we saw from all of those teams are going to probably go down, including the Browns, because the Browns might go up because they're getting better.
Mhm.
But, they don't have those 4 games where it was like, okay, this is much easier. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yes.
All right, moving on then. We got to move on to the Browns. And Kansas City, obviously, big story coming out of that is Patrick Mahomes left from a concussion, and then Chad Henne had to come in, and Browns almost won.
Anything is possible.
Anything is possible.
I mean, listen, if this doesn't attest to the fact that Patrick Mahomes is a system quarterback, I don't know what does.
I totally disagree with you.
I totally think you're wrong.
I'm definitely not wrong.
He's
Patrick Mahomes,
quarterback.
he's not a system quarterback. I think that's crazy. I think that if Patrick Mahomes stays in, they win by 15, maybe more. Chad Henne had a big interception.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think you have that with Patrick Mahomes. By the way, Chad Henne, very serviceable backup. Very serviceable backup.
But Alex Smith would win a Super Bowl.
I don't think so.
19 out of the 32 quarterbacks in the NFL would have won a Super Bowl last year on that team.
I think that's crazy. He's not a system. He's not a system quarterback. He's not a system. In the time that he was 21 for 30, 255 yards, 1 touchdown. I mean, he's incredible. He got out in the third quarter, right? He left in about
1 concussion.
And that was a bad play.
And why?
By the way, Browns didn't step up though.
He's one of the most unintelligent quarterbacks in the
NFL. Whatever you say. I hate the QB sneak. I hate when QBs run. I think for those possessions, there's a reason you have a fullback. And I think the fullback is the most underutilized position in all of football.
Yes. Yes, Deirdre, tell him.
No, it really is. And it really annoys me. And even going to high school games and I see a QB sneak, I'm like, high school, college, whatever it is, Pop Warner. If I see a QB sneak, I'm like, you have someone, and you have someone that's a fullback. Why wouldn't you run your fullback? It's just a stupid. And they have a good fullback. Their fullback actually makes plays. It's just a stupid situation. But no, I agree with you. again, Browns could have stepped up, and unfortunately for Baker, he didn't really step up. 23 for 37. That's not great. Nick Chubb didn't really 13 carries, 69 yards. Did they utilize him enough? No, because they were down so much. You know, it's tough. I mean, it's a tough situation. Your defense played pretty well. I don't think you can get mad at your defense, especially since I thought that defense was struggling very much. So I think when they gave up 32 points to Ben, who was throwing cinder blocks, I didn't think that was very impressive. But their defense held one of the best offenses in the league to 22 points. Would it have been 22 if Patrick Mahomes was there? Absolutely not.
Oh, Jesus.
No, I don't think so. I don't understand. So now it's like Patrick, any guy who appears in a State Farm commercial, you have an issue with, huh?
Yeah, because they're all sucky.
I just think it's funny because Josh Allen's a very similar player to those two. Very similar.
You think Josh Allen's a system quarterback?
No. I don't think any of them are system quarterbacks, but I think that they're all similar players. Big up in the air question: is Patrick Mahomes going to play? That's the big question.
Of course he is, because he faked another injury.
He didn't fake another injury.
He does
Dude, you can't fake that. The way he got up was really scary.
Yeah, and now miraculously, 24 hours later, he's like, "Yeah, no, I'm good to go. I can run a 400-meter dash."
Well, I mean, so that happens to John Wolford too, and he was fine.
He does this every week. He's like, "Wait a minute, let me prove more that I'm godlike."
Well, he is godlike.
He's not godlike.
He is. I mean, let's be real. I think that he's for the next generation, for probably the generation above your daughter, like for 12 to 15 years, 16, junior high school students, he's going to be their Brady.
Tom Brady never faked a concussion.
Tom Brady was too busy cheating to fake a concussion. But I don't think Patrick Mahomes is a faker. I think Patrick Mahomes is very likable, and I'm shocked that you don't like him.
The guy has a leg injury every play.
Well, no, I just think also that's the way he walks.
Also, he is one of the most unathletic people I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, it is awkward to watch him go out.
It's very weird because when he's very athletic.
Yeah.
And then when he moves around, he's the most unathletic person I've ever
seen. It's also like watching like when my grandma lives in Tampa, right? Like Tampa adjacent, I'll call it. Whatever it was, where it was all like the old people and they were in there, and they were power walking on the beach. That's how Patrick Mahomes walks out on the field. It's like the old woman from Boca Raton, getting her workout in. That's how he walks out on the field. Also, that makes him even more incredible because that is the most, probably the most unintimidating thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I mean, it's just starting to get really aggravating. Like every time that he slides, he hobbles back. Yeah. So I'm like, dude, nobody cares.
I don't think that you could. I think that I don't know what your issue is with guys who have cannons for arms, but you have an issue with them.
Okay, Hail Mary's not a cannon. A sideways pass is not a cannon.
Well, both of them have cannons for arms.
They don't.
Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers don't have cannons for arms. Hold on, pause. Instagram, because this is going to go up as our Instagram promo for this. Yep. Do Patrick Mahomes, and I'm not even looking at you. I'm looking right into my camera. Do Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers have a cannon for an arm? Yes or no? Vote.
Lollipop, lollipop, oh, lolly, lolly, lolly.
I mean, that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
Boom, boom, boom.
That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, have you seen these guys throw? There's no laser.
Yes, they have cannons.
Josh Allen has a laser.
They have cannons. They have cannons. Well, you got a crush on Josh Allen. Like, let's just be honest.
You are 100% right. They do have cannons because a cannonball goes up and lands softly. Josh Allen has something out of Star Wars.
You got a crush on Josh Allen. We get it. I like Josh Allen too. I told you. But I think that you hate Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers for no reason.
I love Patrick Mahomes. I think Patrick Mahomes is a great guy. I think he fakes a lot of injuries.
All right. Browns, though, like I said, they could have stepped up. They didn't step up. But an exciting team going forward. By the way, Baker has made incredible strides this year.
What do you mean they didn't step up?
I feel like towards the end of the game, you could win. Like you could,
Well,
your defense could have made that stop. There's no, your defense could have made that stop. Baker
Andy
could have.
Reid pulled off one of the greatest freaking calls.
I agree, but
4th-1 with 2 seconds left on the game
listen,
clock.
but listen,
Play clock.
he did that right. But there were moments that I feel like the Browns could have stepped up. They didn't. They didn't get clapped.
No, they did not get clapped.
Claypool.
I think if Chad Henne would have started that game, I think they get clapped.
You're so stupid. That's just ridiculous. It's not even like funny. It's just ridiculous.
What are you guys doing?
Who is this?
Creighton.
Browns, I think, are going to be a good team going forward. I love the strides that Baker Mayfield has made this year, and I think he's just going to continue to get better. His head's in the game.
Why?
And I think this is something that's just going to make him better. That 2017, I think I'm getting it right. Maybe it was 2018. No, 2017. No, 2018 draft class. Very exciting.
Yeah.
Very exciting. Except for the one that I have. All right, next up. Buccaneers beat the Saints. Quarterbacks did not play well. 199 for Tom.
Big words, Deirdre. That's big words.
Well, would you consider 199 a good quarterback play?
Consider it effective.
I mean, it won, so it's effective. Would you consider 134 yards, 1 touchdown, and 3 interceptions?
No, that's terrible.
Okay, I just wanted to check.
Listen, this is not going to become a Bash Brady party.
No, he's someone that I don't like and I think is overrated, but he is proving people wrong. Like, give him all the credit in the world.
Of course, Tom Brady's overrated.
Just broke my pen.
That's simple. What'd you do?
I broke my pen. Go ahead.
Oh, Jesus. That's simple. Anybody who's spoken of as the greatest of all time is obviously overrated. Because people are rating them as the greatest of all time.
Well, also, this might be an unpopular opinion, but I think greatest of all time is subjective.
Yeah.
He is the most successful of all time.
Yes.
Most successful player of all time.
Without a
doubt.
There is no questioning that.
Best skill player of all time? Best quarterback play of all time? No.
No,
most
that would
successful.
Be
so stupid. What are you, Lee Hoopin?
No, actually, Taysom Hill would be the greatest skillful quarterback of all time.
Well, no, okay. Put skills. Greatest technique, greatest quarterback, technique, everything, skill, all that stuff when it comes to being a quarterback. I don't think he is. He's the most successful of all time.
Right.
He's the Moza, not the GOAT to me. Most successful of all time.
Tom Brady will have 7 rings.
What was that? What?
Tom Brady will have 7 rings by the end of this year.
Oh, I think so too. And I didn't think so. I didn't think that they were going to.
By the way, you know that will make him. He will have more rings than any other NFL team.
Again, most successful.
Yeah.
Most successful of all time. Not doubting that. But let's be honest. Right now, his defense is stepping the fuck up. They're stepping up. 3 interceptions against the guy who, people debated if he was better than Brady. Obviously, this is not the Brady that we've seen in years past. He is, he was done.
Yeah.
Jameis looked good, which, by the way, brings me to another point. We do need to do another. But I still think we need to do another James is or James isn't.
Yeah. Well, now James has a lot of
pull on it. Exactly.
Because everybody's hiring.
Exactly. No one offensively really stands out to me in
Yeah.
this game. It's really all the defense. It's,
I agree.
it's guys like Devin White. Even the safety, what is his name? That young safety that they got from Minnesota, Antoine Winfield.
Yeah.
He's someone who's very exciting to watch. Devin White's incredible. They have other guys too that are just Murphy Bunting is playing great. They're, Jason JPP, Ndamukong Suh.
JPP.
I mean, there are all these guys that are really stepping up for them. That is so exciting to watch. And Buccaneers are playing well. They're getting hot at the right time.
They are. They're
They
6-0.
They are 6-0.
The last 6.
I think they are opening as underdogs, but I don't think they're the underdogs when they play. When they play the Packers, I think that they have so much more going on.
They are underdogs right now.
Mm-hmm.
By how much?
Last time I checked, it was +3. Let me check now.
That's preposterous. That is preposterous.
Well, let's check. I'm not 100% sure. I don't want to tell you the wrong thing.
Sorry, but
it's still +3. And by the way, I'm gonna put it +3. The odds are +102.
Gotcha.
So
there's an old saying in the NFL.
Okay.
Do not bet against Tom Brady. Period.
Okay. I agree.
You're going to lose money.
Mm-hmm.
And there's an old saying in my book, do not bet
on Aaron Rodgers.
Because he's going to lose you money.
But I mean, let's be honest, these are probably the two of the most exciting quarterbacks from the last 10 years.
Yep.
And then two of the most exciting quarterbacks probably for the next 10 years.
Right. And I mean, if you throw Patrick Mahomes in there, you got 5.
You're so ridiculous. It's so frustrating. Chad Henne's a beast.
Chad Henne's a beast.
Chad Henne is not a beast. Everyone, Chad Henne is one of the better backup quarterbacks in the league.
Chad Henne took over that game and said, listen, boys, jump on my back because Patrick Mahomes wants to go play PS4 in the back. We got to step up. Let's go. Champions on me. 1, 2, 3 champions. Anything is possible.
Anything is possible. Anything is possible.
See, normally, if, this was a sense where, Patrick Mahomes got hurt, I'd be like, wow, that really sucked. Good on the Chiefs by stepping up. But, you brought the injury on your damn self.
Well, he did get injured, though. I mean.
Not throw the damn ball. You have 19 of the best 19 wide receivers in football. Throw the ball.
Okay.
Dancing around.
He doesn't have, the night. I think to say that his receiving core isn't the same. No, it's very good. I'm just saying I think that Tom Brady's is not pretty much the same.
Okay, first of all, no way in hell. Gronkowski, 48 years old. Antonio Brown, nut job. Godwin, hell of a player.
Evans, hell of a player. Cole Miller. They got tons of people on that team. Got tons of weapons. You didn't watch the game. You haven't watched them play. You haven't watched them play, obviously.
What, Scotty Miller?
Yes. Why did I call him Cole Miller?
I don't know. I was like, who the hell is Cole? I'm like, am I missing
Scotty
somebody?
Miller, you're right. Why did I call him Cole?
I've never even heard of a Cole Miller.
So random.
That is random.
Yes, Scotty Miller.
Oh, boy.
Well, that is our recap.
You're comparing Scotty Miller.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying he's
Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill.
No. Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill are better. But I'm saying all together as a whole, I would say that Tom Brady.
Hold on. Who is the Tyreek Hill on the Bucs?
those two players are better than anyone that the Bucks have. But I think if you look receiving core just in general, all receivers, the Bucks have just as good of a receiving core. Not just two players.
I don't know. Hardman?
I love the Chiefs have a very good. Listen,
Robinson?
can I just tell you something? I bet, and this is what I did. I bet on the Bills and the Buccaneers because I will be happy either way. Because then, if the Chiefs win,
Oh, here we go.
you owe me money, and if Green Bay wins, you have a chance that you might have to get
The
Aaron
Chiefs are
Rodgers
doing
numbers.
well, D'Angelo. What's that bet again, anyway?
It's the Aaron Rodgers one.
No, the Chiefs one.
I think it was like $50.
Okay.
But I mean, put aside that, just pride to be like, I gave you two teams that could have made it. I literally gave you two, and they both were out in the first round.
Yeah.
And
Because you
then
didn't let me get deep into the season.
okay, but I didn't get deep into the season when I picked the Chiefs.
It's nice, D'Angelo, that you got to pick the reigning Super Bowl champions, and you.
Well, because you
stick
said there is no way they're going to
stick me
win.
with the Titans.
No, you picked the Titans. I didn't stick you with anyone. You
Who
were
else
like
was I
Bills.
gonna pick?
You picked this. You said the Steelers and the Titans. You actually
The
said the
Steelers-
Titans would beat the Chiefs, no problem.
Yeah.
Oh no, it wasn't the Titans. I'm sorry. You picked the Colts.
Yeah, neither of my team got to play the Chiefs.
It's true, but if they got to play the Chiefs, I mean, you know what would happen.
Yeah. Listen, the Chiefs got the benefit of playing the Browns.
The Browns beat the Steelers.
Well, the Steelers suck. that
All right.
became undoubtedly true after week 14.
Well, that is it for us in NFL recap. We will be back with more interviews and more fun things coming up. Check out our YouTube, our Spotify, our Apple Podcasts.
Apple Podcast.
And we'll be back, James.
Take a bite out of the apple.
Okay.
Stay safe. Stay well. Stay hydrated.